Ni hao, y'all. Why are you laughing? I'm Natalie, and I'm the Chinese Southern Belle. I grew up in Smyrna, Georgia. How many of y'all are from the South? All right, that's wonderful. Sometimes I'm the only one. It feels a little bit weird. I can't wait for peach season. Any other peach lovers? Fried peach pie, cobbler, peach cobbler, I love it. So I'm going to share a little bit about myself and about the Buddha to Bubba stories of how I got here. Now you might be thinking, what is a Chinese Southern Belle? Do you think it's me speaking Chinese with a Southern drawl? Like ni hao y'all? Maybe it's me liking grits and collard greens. How about great food and great hospitality? We have that in common, both in the Chinese and Southern tradition. How about me playing a mean game of ping pong? So my parents did their best in navigating and helping us balance the best of both worlds. And there are a lot of commonalities. I mean, in Chinese and Southern tradition, the values around working hard, eating whatever's on your plate or on your lunch tray, all right? Those are all things that we shared in common, all right? Also about remembering your heritage and where you come from, for better or for worse, right? So those are all things that were swirling around me as I was growing up in Smyrna, Georgia. Now, my parents immigrated from Taiwan, and there's actually a lot that's similar to Georgia. It was hot and humid and a lot of farms. My parents also loved to play outside in sports, go fishing and hunting. So actually, we adapted really well to Georgia and the long hot summers and the good food. My sisters and I, we'd climb Stone Mountain all the time. We loved it. Little did we know about the controversy and those big Confederate carvings and the history of the cross burnings. We just had fun. It was our playground. And when we landed here, there were no other Asians around. It was just black and white. We had white friends, we had black friends, and we don't know where the Asians were. We kind of felt like panda bears in the concrete suburban jungle. Maybe they were all studying, just at home studying all the time, but we never saw them. Sometimes it felt like we had more in common with the black folks. We ate chitlins, we ate intestines, we had all kinds of different kind of food, pig ear salad that my friends really didn't want to know about. I played on a tennis team one time, and we traveled around the home host team, host the visitors, and they all were supposed to provide the food. Now, my match went long, and we were playing in Southwest Atlanta against an all-black team. My team is kind of like the We Are the World team. We have like every different kind of color and player on my team. So we were playing the other team, and my match went long into the third set. So when I came back to the picnic table, I was looking for some food, right? Well, they brought fried chicken, and I was really excited about that. Except when I went to go look for my favorite pieces of dark meat, the leg and the thigh, it was nowhere to be found. So somehow, everybody had taken all the dark pieces of chicken around, and it certainly weren't the white folks, all right? So those are some of the stories that I remember. And sometimes we weren't quite sure how we would fit in. I mean, when my dad came over here to attend as a scholarship student with Georgia Tech, he remembered bathrooms that were labeled white and colored. And he was like, I don't know what it means, and I don't know which one I should go into. And we found segregation posters in our first home. I don't remember it. It was before my time, but my dad remembers. But we enjoyed the South. We went fishing at Lake Allatoona. My sisters and I just loved the long summers, and we loved the peaches. But sometimes we didn't know how we would fit in. I was called names when I was growing up, chink, things like that, and other names. But we tried to make the best of it. I have an uncle that's self-proclaimed Chinese redneck. My Uncle Danny, he was like the little Tom Sawyer. My mom remembers growing up in Taiwan, they'd be in the countryside, and he would do little mischievous things like put little poop on the teacher's desk and have the grasshoppers fighting each other. He'd like always be looking up at the trees. My mom, as a little girl, would follow him around. Why are you always looking up at the trees? He's like, I'm looking for that perfect Y for my slingshot. So there's a lot that we had in common. But being Southern, it's not as simple as saying y'all. We have a history, we have a people, we have the food, which is great to celebrate. But the good, bad, and the ugly, that's what it's all about. Being Chinese, it's also more than eating fried rice and lo mein as well. So being Chinese Southern Belle is a little bit more complicated. Folks from up north, people from LA, from New York, they think they have Southerners figured out. They think just saying a Southern accent or y'all is basically what it is, or buying $20 fried chicken now. They love our food, they love our cooking shows and our cookbooks, but they live in more segregated neighborhoods than we do. What's up with the Little Italy and the Chinatowns and the Jewish Quarter and all that? Right, so who's more about race and class, right? So it's a little bit more complicated than that, as we have a lot of hullabaloo around what to keep, what to replace, what to do with our history, what to do with our statues. I don't have all the answers. I don't think it's that simple. We probably have to go through some hard questions about who we are as Americans, who we are as Southerners, who am I as a Chinese Southern Belle. So my journey as a Chinese Southern Belle is just that. It's about how can we get along, how can we be healthier and stronger together, how can we be greater than the sum of our parts without losing our parts and still remembering where we come from, for better and for worse. So I want to thank the Goodness Gracious Show for letting me on and sharing my story. If you want to hear more about it, feel free to go to ChineseSouthernBelle.com. But we love events like this, and we're so glad that you came. Thank you.